Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for coming back. Now today we've got quite a big day for you folks because I've got my Golden Globes and Critics' Choice nominations to get out basically in the same day now. So they're both happening on the same day. It's going to be a pretty intense day. I'm going to be at work on the later part of the day. That being said, due to time differences, I'll be available for Golden Globe reactions. Critics' Choice, we're not entirely sure what's going on yet. Either which way, you will get my reaction, even if it means I have to have all my notifications off on my phone and start fasting just to know that I won't spoil the noms for you guys. So the Golden Globes are back this year. I did make a video earlier on this year saying they're not going to be. They've now sorted it where it won't be telecast, but we're still going to get the winners and nominations. We don't know how the winners will be announced yet. I have a feeling it will just be kind of just through the internet all in one big go, but I guess we'll see. The really interesting thing about this year's Golden Globes though is that there's no submissions, so we could have anything nominate in these categories. Not only that though, I want to see now whether they've actually learnt a lesson, whether they're going to start nominating deserved shit. Are we going to have a repeat of last year where we have where films like music nominated and comedy, musical and actress, Jared Leto and supporting actor, etc, etc. So I'm really excited about this. I've tried to put all this into I've tried to balance all of this when making my predictions, but I've kind of stuck with what we know the Golden Globes do, because I'd rather just kind of make the predictions I've done now, then kind of just throw my hands up and be like, okay, this is what I predicted, now let's see what they do. Anyway, starting off in Best Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical. This is a really fun race because we've got a two-horse race between West Side Story and Licorice Pizza. They absolutely adore musicals. They gave Dreamgirls Best Musical or Comedy over Little Miss Sunshine. Little Miss Sunshine, which ended up being the frontrunner for Best Picture. Dreamgirls didn't even get nominated for Best Picture. That's how much they love musicals. That being said, we do have Licorice Pizza, which is in the top 3 most claimed films of this year, and I really feel like it's going to be a really close one. Tick Tick Boom, I feel like could be a crazy major outside shock that probably wouldn't mean much for the Oscars in terms of Best Picture, but would definitely solidify a Best Picture nomination if it won, but I'm not too sure. Don't Look Up I had as my number 2 up until a couple of days ago because I loved it, as you guys know, but the reviews are horrendous for this thing. And fair enough, yeah, I guess maybe saying horrendous isn't entirely fair, but in terms of what we'd expect, they are not good at all. So I can't really see it winning anymore unless the Golden Globes for some reason really love it, but I still think it's in for the nomination. In the Heights, In the Heights, what happened to you? You were a Best Picture frontrunner not long ago. Yeah, unfortunately, In the Heights is completely dipped. It is a great film. I don't understand why it's gone so kind of underappreciated during this whole award season, but here we go. I still think it's going to just squeeze in here maybe, but it getting nominated for Best Picture or even kind of winning any awards anywhere is kind of out of the question, I'm afraid. I genuinely think that is the top 5 solidified, and then my next 3, The French Dispatch, Cyrano and Dear Evan Hansen, are just kind of films that could be what In the Heights is snubbed for. Dear Evan Hansen would be a bit of a joke. Cyrano I've kind of heard is just kind of alright, but Peter Dinklage is amazing. And then The French Dispatch is actually really good, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't even like Wes Anderson that much, but if I saw that got nominated, I would still be disappointed that In the Heights didn't make it, but I still say it's deserved. Best Actress Comedy Musical. What a race we have! What a race we have! We've literally got Rachel Zegler and Alana Haim. It's literally the Golden Globes version of last year's Oscars when it was Chadwick Boseman versus Anthony Hopkins. They are galloping, they're galloping, they're galloping. It's a two-horse race, and we don't know what's going to win. They both have such an amazing incentive. Rachel Zegler is the darling of this year. Nobody knew who she was until this came out, and now everyone's fallen in love with her. She's still just showing in West Side Story. But then we have Alana Haim, who is, I haven't seen it personally, I really want to, and I'm getting so jealous of all the people in the States I've been able to see it so far, but she's equally just kind of completely broken out to film. We've known her from her band, now she's hit in a film, and everybody loves that incentive. I really can't wait to see who will win at the end of the day. They're both definitely getting nominated. And then we just kind of make our way down the list, and apart from those top 2, it's actually quite weak, to be fair. Jennifer Lawrence will probably get nominated for Don't Look Up just because she's Don't Look Up will get nominated in Best Comedy Musical, and the Globes fucking love Jennifer Lawrence. Emma Stone for Cruella, as she's such a standout in Cruella. And then Renee Rines, I'm really sorry if I've said your name wrong, for The Worst Person in the World, purely because she is actually getting like proper like great reviews. She's a bit like Mads Mikkelsen for Another Round, where she's like we could see her get BAFTA nominated, and like maybe she'll be like number 6 or 7 to get into the Best Actress. But for the Golden Globes to nominate a international performance isn't as common. They still have definitely done it, but it's nowhere near as common as what the Oscars do. But because it's so weak, I do think she could squeeze in number 5. Then we have Malia Barrera for Nights. I've said that name wrong, I know. I can't wait to get the taking the piss out of. And then Margot Robbie for The Suicide Squad, because who knows. Best Actor Musical Comedy. I think it's Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, and I can't see this changing. Obviously, a couple of years ago, we had Taron Egerton versus Eddie Murphy versus Leonardo DiCaprio, and Taron came on top. And if that was the case this year, it would probably be Peter Dinklage winning. But because Andrew Garfield is having an incredible year with The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Tick Tick Boom, and who knows, maybe Spider-Man will be coming up. I feel like he's really making it his year, and I feel like whilst he's probably not going to win lead actor anywhere else apart from here, because this is such a perfect place for him to win, I feel like he will kind of take the lead here. Leonardo DiCaprio, if you don't look up, because you can't underestimate Leonardo DiCaprio anywhere, especially when the categories are split. Cooper Hoffman for Licorice Pizza, because Licorice Pizza is looking like a frontrunner to win comedy musical. Anthony Ramos for In the Heights. And then Ansel Elgort probably would be higher, but because nobody really likes him anymore, I'd be really shocked if he made it in now. I mean, those tweets that we had when the West Side Story premiere came up, I saw an absolutely hilarious one where it was like, Ansel Elgort arrives to the West Side Story premiere, and I saw somebody retweet, and it went, go Ansel, go Ansel, go Ansel, and then they just put ... no, seriously, Ansel, go. And I was howling myself with that one. Ryan Reynolds for Free Guy, because he did get nominated for Deadpool, and everyone loves Ryan Reynolds. Ben Platt for Dear Evan Hansen, because, you know, it's like he's the lead in a big musical of this year. It would be kind of funny if that did end up happening, but, you know, they've done worse. They have done worse. And then Bob Odenkirk for Nobody, which is kind of like me satisfying my own ego, because I really like that film and I feel like he would deserve a nomination. Best Motion Picture Drama. Now, unlike last year where every single potential Best Picture nominee was kind of crammed in drama. Why is my nose so red? We now have a year where it's actually very much split, like it usually is. So it kind of makes room for more to get in the drama side than what we'd see at the Oscars or anything like that. So my number one and two will shock nobody. Belfast and King Richards are for sure nominees everywhere, and 2 frontrunners to win the lead award everywhere. Then we have Being the Ricardos, which started off with poor reviews, but did kind of catapult its way up. You know, the Globes absolutely adore Aaron Sorkin, and if they haven't changed much, they're going to nominate him everywhere again. Number 4 is Dune, because Dune is looking like a front for Best Picture, and whilst the Globes don't appreciate the technical kind of giants as much as the PGAs and the Oscars do, because it is just such a big film this year, and because everyone loves it, and because it's been so well acclaimed, I still think it will definitely get in. And then my number 5 is literally anybody's game. For now, I've put House of Gucci, which, to be fair, I want to go on record now and say I really liked House of Gucci, just, you know, you can send me hate mail as much as you like, but I do really like House of Gucci. But equally, you know, Power of the Dog, which at one point was like number 1 to win Best Picture before Belfast came and took the steam. Nightmare Alley actually has come out, and it hasn't got very good reviews. I feel like it was still getting into technicals, and I feel like it could still squeeze in like as like a number like 9 spot for Best Picture. Guillermo del Toro, I'm not too sure about anymore, especially this year in director being crammed. Spencer. And it's too inaccessible for the Globes, and same goes for Come On, if I'm being honest. Best Actress Drama. Now, everybody's still convinced that Kirsten Stewart is just going to win everywhere, and I'm not trying to say it's impossible. It's definitely not possible, but the fact people are so convinced that's how it's going to be, I completely disagree. I think we have a 3-horse race between Jessica Chastain, Kirsten Stewart, and Nicole Kidman. And actually, my number 1 for the Golden Globes is Jessica Chastain. She's in the most kind of baity roles, which is what the Globes normally do fall for. But just to say it's baity, I want to say now she is genuinely phenomenal in the eyes of Tammy Faye, and she would deserve a win. She's been so overdue for kind of more awards recognition and an Oscar. She was completely snubbed for the win for Zero Dark 30. So I feel like now could be a time, and if the Globes want to start a campaign, which they have done before, remember the Glenn Close win, they could do it now with Jessica Chastain. Then my number 2 is Kirsten Stewart for Spencer, because she is genuinely phenomenal, and whilst I'm not sure she's going to win everywhere, she's definitely getting nominated everywhere. Nicole Kidman for being the Ricardos. At this point, this is a solid 3 to get nominated everywhere, and she's coming on for the ride, and her win incentive isn't actually out of the question, because I know she's won before, but that's 20 years ago, and since then she's carried on being a respected actress. She's gone and done other things. It is her time to win another Oscar, in my opinion. And honestly, if being Ricardo's, if she's as good as I hear she is, I will 100% get behind it. Lady Gaga, I think, solidly in there for House of Gucci, because whilst House of Gucci hasn't been that well acclaimed, she's still got hype for her performance. And when a film's not acclaimed, but you've still got major hype, that actually looks really good on you, because it means you really stand out. Jennifer Hudson for respect, because she's playing Aretha Franklin, and Aretha Franklin personally recommended her for the role, and she's amazing. Yes, thank you, goodbye. And then number 6 and 7, I think, are another possible number 5. Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, and Olivia Colman for Lost Daughter. You know, everybody loves those two ladies, and it's definitely not far-fetched to say they can make it in. And then 8, 9, and 10 are many people's wishfuls, but probably won't happen. Emilia Lee Jones for Coda, in my opinion, is so deserved. I'm not biased just because, she's a fellow Brit. I genuinely think it's well deserved, but it's just a bit too indie, and because so much is trying to make it in Coda, I just don't feel like she could also squeeze in. Number 9 is Frances McDormand for Tragic Macbeth, and Rooney Mara is number 10 for Nightmare Alley. Best Actor Drama. Yeah, Will Smith for King Richard is going to win everywhere, especially here where the category is split. He's only got mild competition from Benedict Cumberbatch. And with the type of film The Power of the Dog is, I can't see the Golden Globes falling for that much. So honestly, especially here, I think it's completely Will Smith's to lose. Because the category is split, we get more room to get other people in, which is great. My number 3 is Joaquin Phoenix for Come On, Come On, who is just so sweet and heartfelt in that film, and I really want him to get nominated more places, but I just can't see it happening. But because here the category split, I really, really hope they do the right thing and make room for him, because he deserves a nomination at least in one place. Number 4 is Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth. Number 5 is Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos, because whilst I hear he's nowhere near as great as Nicole Kidman, and he has been quite controversial, it is still a very showy role, and the Globes have fallen for that many times, including Jared Leto last year for The Little Things. So I wouldn't underestimate that. And then number 6, I honestly think this is a really solid top 5 you get. And then number 6, 7, 8, and 9. I just kind of like what ifs. I have Oscar Isaac for the card counter, because whilst he's getting no hype anywhere, they do sometimes do this where they'll just completely just shocker, just nominate somebody and you're like, what? Think about Cate Blanchett for Where'd You Go, Benedict, Jonah Hill for War Dogs. It's something that, or Rosamund Pike for I Care A Lot, who ended up winning. They do that a lot. Supporting actress. This is such another fun race. I feel like we could have a year where supporting actress is just split absolutely everywhere. My number 1 for now, though, is Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, because she has actually become like the front runner for Best Supporting Actress. And if she is definitely going to win one place, it's going to be at the Golden Globes, where they love musicals. She is just so well respected in the musical scene, and whenever she's on the screen in West Side Story, your eyes are just completely captivated to her character, and she 100% deserves to win. But then, right on her ass, trying to get the win as well, is Wajney Ellis for King Richard and Katrina Bell for Belfast. Now look, I think Wajney Ellis is actually really deserved for King Richard. She has a complete scene stealer in it, and I'd 100% allow that to win. Well, not that I have a choice in it, but I'd be happy if it wins, is what I mean. But then we also have Katrina Bell for Belfast, which, yeah, I've seen. She's good in it, but does she really deserve to win? Like, really? Come on. But still, we can't underestimate it. It is a very baity performance. Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog, who I feel like could end up taking the front runner spot in other places, but I'm not too sure when it comes to the Golden Globes. Then Meryl Streep is my number 5 for Don't Look Up, because it's Streep for fuck's sake, and she is a scene stealer. In Don't Look Up, she plays the comedic, absurd character, which the Globes love. They've nominated it before with Simon Helberg for Florence Foster Jenkins, and Will Ferrell for The Producers, and I feel like Meryl Streep will be that nominee of this year. And Dale for Mass, who is, in my opinion, the deserved winner, because Bleecker Street has never got any real nominations anywhere, and because Mass is just like not getting any hype, even in some critic circles. I just don't see it making an award season, which is like devastating, but that's just how it is. Ruth Negga for Passing, and then Marlee Matlin for Coda. Best Supporting Actor. This could be a great category with great performances, but all of the frontrunners right now are shit. Like, in terms of, like, yeah, they're good performances, but I'm not trying to be funny or anything. None of these are Oscar-worthy. Like, look at my top 5. Sarah Hines for Belfast, Cody Smith-McPhee for The Power of the Dog, Robin Day Jesus. I will say now, he does definitely deserve the nomination, and in a weird way, I kind of do think he's going to win, but I'm not even sure if he's secured a nomination. But you know, still, Jared Leto, House of Gucci. John Burr for King Richard. But then look below my list, we have Troy Kotsur for Coda, 100% deserves a nomination. Richard Jenkins for The Humans, 100% deserves a nomination. Andrew Garfield, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, 100% nomination. And Mike Face, whilst I don't think he was great in West Side Story, I still say it's nomination worthy. But why are these 5 men taking the lead when there's so many better performances? It's because they're not being campaigned well enough, and these other performances are just so showy, and they're in bigger films in frontrunners, and it's just so devastating that we could have one of the worst supporting actor lineups I've ever seen when there is potential to have a really good one. So this is my 5 for now, but I really hope that it's not, is all I'm going to say. I don't even have much to say on it because I'm just so kind of undervote to this category because I think it's just so poor, but I hope that they do the right thing and nominate something that's actually well deserved. Best Director. You know what? I've really tried to refrain from doing it, but at this point, I really feel like Steven Spielberg could end up taking the hype this award season. He's Steven Spielberg of all people, and he hasn't had like a proper director incentive in a long time, and everybody loves him. And if they want it to happen again, now is the time. People are falling in love with West Side Story. They're saying the directing's the best part of it. So I'm 100% for him winning in places. And this is coming from someone who's not even a massive fan of his, but I do just really think he deserves the win talk for West Side Story. And I feel like if he's going to like surprise win anywhere and then kind of start a campaign for himself, it will be here. Then number 2, we have Denis Villeneuve for Dune, as it's the directorial technical achievement of this year. Number 3 is Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, as it's the frontrunner. Number 4 is PTA for Licorice Pizza, as it could win comedy or musical. It's looking like it's going to max out nominations here, and then I can't see it then just missing director. Number 5 is Ridley Scott for House of Gucci. They love Scott. They nominated him for all the money in the world. I know people aren't going to like this, but trust me, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but don't act too surprised if we see him get in come Monday morning. Adam McKay for Don't Look Up is it's kind of a very kind of fast-paced, showy directorial film, which the Globes seem to fall for a lot. We have Ronaldo Marcus Green for King Richard. As anything that's a frontrunner, the Globes will nominate in Best Director. They did it for Peter Farrelly in Green Book, which didn't go on to get the Oscar nomination. And like, whilst I know he's my number 7, I'm still definitely thinking he can make it for a nomination. Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, because I'm sorry the Golden Globes aren't going to give a shit about that film. If they do, I'll be happy for it, but I don't think they will. Guillermo del Toro for Nightmare Alley, and then Julia Ducournau for Titan, because that's kind of me satisfying my own ego a bit. Best Screenplay. I think this is going to be Licorice Pizza's here. They went with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They went with The Trial of Chicago 7. They love their feel-good, crowd-pleaser, big director, big writer films, and that's Licorice Pizza. And I really think Licorice Pizza deserves it, and PTA deserves to win. Number 2 is Belfast, because it's the number 1 to win, and Belfast actually does have a pretty good screenplay, and it has been taking screenplay hype at other places, so I can't see it being out of the question for the Golden Globes. Number 3 is Being the Ricardos, because they love Aaron Sorkin to bits. Number 4 is Don't Look Up, because it's Adam McKay, and they're yet to snub him yet. Number 5 is King Richard, because it's like a front runner for drama, and because it's a front runner to get in for drama, and it could even win there, so I can't see it then missing screenplay, director and winning, even though Bohemian Rhapsody did that. Number 6, it's actually been really hard to choose between West Side Story and Don't Look Up, but number 6 is West Side Story, and it's right there, and I really think it's such a two-horse race between King Richard and West Side Story to get that number 5 spot. And then, yeah, from that, I don't really see anything else getting in there. Power of the Dog, If there was a split category, 100% Power of the Dog be getting in, but without it being split, the Globes aren't going to touch it. Tick, Tick, Boom, Come On, House of Gucci, nobody really cares about them. Best Motion Picture, Foreign Language. I think it's going to be the worst person in the world. So they always go for the crowd-pleasery foreign language film for this category, and that is 100% the worst person in the world. It's feel good, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel better about life. I really think this is going to win. And I'm at number 2, 3, 4. So my number 2 is Titan, because if they watch it and they see it, how can you deny Titan a nomination? How? Titan is incredible, and it deserves every single bit of love. I know that I'm being really optimistic about it being my number 2, but I really think it's going to get in, and I really want it to. And then my number 3 is Parallel Mothers, because Penelope Cruz could get a nomination. Number 4 is A Hero. Number 5 is A Hand of God. And then my number 6 is Drive My Car. Beyond that, I can't really see anything else getting in, and I'm sure you're all going to agree that this is the top 6. Best Motion Picture Animated. I want you to say it with me, people. You're going to say it with me right now. Encanto, Flea, The Mitchell vs. Machines, Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon. They are the 5. For the Oscars, they may go with Belle instead of Raya and the Last Dragon, or maybe even Luca. But for here, do not go for anything else. They do not go for foreign, inaccessible, anything like that, animated films. This is the 5. Don't go against it. If I'm wrong in any which way, come after me and kidnap me and torture me. But I really think I'm right on this one. Best score. I think it's going to be Hans Zimmer for Dune. That being said, though, they do have really good taste in music, and I wouldn't say it's too far-fetched to see maybe Spencer or maybe even Don't Look Up taking the surprise, because they do like their kind of more showy music, kind of like the more accessible music, something you'd expect a teenager having his iPod. And we'll say that Dune could definitely be that. It's Hans Zimmer. Everyone likes Hans Zimmer. Spencer and Don't Look Up, and even Nightmare Alley, French Dispatch, all have that to them too. I just want to give a big shout out now to No Time to Die by Hans Zimmer as well. I really want that to make it in at the Oscar, but I just don't think it will. But it is a beautiful score. If you haven't seen No Time to Die or given it a listen, please do. And then Best Original Song isn't a category I care too much about, but I do think the number 1 is still Be Alive from King Richard from Beyonce. They nominated the song from The Lion King, which name I can't remember, I have it out on my screen now, which Beyonce was a part of the nomination bunch for, which didn't go on for the Oscar. And if this is also going to get Oscar nominated, I really feel like she could win here, and it's honestly not out of the question at all for the Oscar. She's still my number 1 for there. Then my number 2 is No Time to Die from No Time to Die. Both Skyfall and Writings on the Wall both won in this category, but the reason I've got No Time to Die at number 2 is because 1, they weren't competing with Beyonce, and 2, No Time to Die, by the time this award ceremony came out, it would have been nearly 2 years since that song first premiered, and like, do people really still give a shit about it anymore? I don't think so. Just Look Up from Don't Look Up is, I think, fairly solid. They love their pop star. They love nominating their pop stars, and what Ariana Grande? Yeah, I thought so. Dos Origuitaza, I'm going to get really told off for saying like that, from Encanto, because it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. And then my number 5 is the Anonymous Ones from Dear Evan Hansen, because they love to kind of nominate their kind of like cheesy musical songs, and that's what this song is. Anyway, folks, those are my predictions for the Golden Globe nominations. This is probably the first time where, so my first video I ever made was final Golden Globe predictions, and now here we are again with me doing my next set for the next year. So I guess I want to just use this opportunity to say thank you all very much for sticking with me. And here's to more content for the future. But until next time, ladies and gents, so long for now.